Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's another night video just because I feel more inspired in the evening at these days, and I wanted to share with you today. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Vanessa, welcome, thank you all for tuning in. I wanted to share with you today about what to do when you are in a funk, in a rut, whatever you want to call it, and how to get yourself out of it. It could also be a bad day, a bad week, whatever it is. Because I feel most people's approach doesn't really help. No offense, but often, I hear this a lot from my clients, that, they're trying to get themselves out of a funk by rewarding themselves with like, oh, I'm going to get myself an ice cream, I'm going to get myself some flowers, I'm going to get myself this and that, and I still don't feel better. I'm still angry or sad and upset. And don't get me wrong, yes, you can get yourself some flowers, get yourself an ice cream and all that, but don't do it. Do it out of pleasure. Don't do it to distract yourself. Don't do it to avoid how you're really feeling. Don't do it to actually, bypass how you're feeling. And yeah, I'm just going to use this example of one of my clients specifically who recently, was going through a very difficult relationship thing, romantic relationship thing. And they basically, said that everything was going wrong on that day. And they were really triggered in a class that they went to and felt personally sort of attacked by one of the teachers in that class. It was like a movement class. And then they would, on their way home, stuff would happen and they would do something nice for themselves and do another nice thing, but it all didn't really help. And I think the day after we had our session together, and I asked, well, have you thought about the idea to just sit yourself down and feel your feelings? And then they said like, no, but I really wanted to make myself feel better and da-da-da-da-da. And it's okay to wanting to change your state. But if you notice that you're actually that triggered that you can't get out of it, or you're that sad, or you're just low on energy, or you're feeling depressed or anxious, and you just notice that the things you're trying to do for yourself are not working, well, here is what really works. Because I've been feeling the last 3 days a little bit low on energy, and I've been feeling something coming up inside of me in terms of emotions. And I mean, I'm in this for a long time now. I know how it works. So that's why I want to share it with you so that you don't have to stay in that forever, but you can actually get right to the point. So here's what I do. I feel already, and that takes some practice. So if you're not there yet, don't judge yourself. Just it all starts from starting to get in touch with your body, starting to feel and notice, especially observe how you feel when you're down, what activities you are basically drawn to when you're down. Write this down. And I share a lot of this info in my other videos, so go there if this is new to you. But, what I do basically the last 3 days, I've noticed, oh, it's interesting, I have brain fog. I feel a little bit like down. I feel like something is sort of moving and brewing inside of me. And I can laugh because we're all human. And we're all going through those moments. The difference is when you have the right tools to support you, you don't feel helpless, you don't feel, at the mercy of life, you know what to do and you feel actually safe going through that. And that's what I teach all my clients, like how to regulate yourself, how to observe your emotions, and what tools to use when you go through different situations like a funk or a rut or whatever. So what I did the last 3 days was I started really going down on my meditation. So I would meditate every morning for at least 15 minutes to half an hour, sometimes 1 hour. And then I would journal out my feelings and what's going on. And I would sometimes notice my mind trying to dissociate from, my feelings. And that, again, is a practice. You got to practice going there and telling your mind, hey, I know that may feel unsafe or difficult or uncomfortable, but let's for a moment just, excuse me, sorry, sit for a moment with my emotions. And then I would just breathe slowly in and out, in through the nose, out through the mouth. A few times, just feeling my body, feeling the breath going through my body. And then I would often have an emotion come up. And then I'm just being with it. And, sometimes it's like something you're cooking. It needs some time to cook through. Like, let's say you want to make a really good pasta sauce. The tomatoes, the tomato sauce, everything, the garlic, the herbs, everything needs to, over hours if you're a real Italian, it needs to simmer and simmer and simmer. So, if you cannot get through to what's going on the first day, it's okay. Just don't push yourself. Just be aware that, you're going through something, and, make yourself a little bit time. And create a little more time and space for yourself. So what I would do, I would make sure I have a walk in the day. That always helps me to calm myself or to center myself. I would not force myself to get it out of me. I would just simply, sometimes put my hand on my heart and take a breath and just be like, okay, something is brewing, and if you need a little more time, it's okay. And then yesterday, I felt a little more emotional and felt a little more like writing out deeper how I feel. Like maybe I had some, I think I had some old emotions come up, and, also some old cravings of what I would usually do in the past when I would go through something like that. But as I have this awareness and the observation to notice, oh, I'm going through something, and some part of my mind, bless my mind, wants to keep me safe and wants me to numb with food. For me, it's often food or TV. So these are my two go-tos, but I know it. So I know that this is actually not making me feel better. So what I would do is I had a hot shower, and then I would go to bed and read my book. Put on a candle to make me feel cozy. Yeah. So I already am prepared, and I know exactly what doesn't make me feel good and what makes me feel good. So that's what I did. And you need to find that out for yourself. You need to find what are the patterns that you fall into, that you engage into when you get into a rut or into like a heavy emotions phase or whatever, that are actually not supporting you, that make you actually judge yourself afterwards worse than if you just had not engaged in them at all. Yeah, or just had felt your feelings. So this is something, and 90% of the people watching this will not write it down. And I'm just like, I'm giving you the information, guys. Like, the least you can do for yourself, nothing is going to change by you browsing through this video. You got to take action. And sorry for me being a little German on you, but take action. You cannot expect something in your life to change when you're not taking action. I'm giving you the tips. Take action. Come on. I'm saying that from love, even though I'm speaking with a straight voice. But sometimes I just feel like, the people that have the breakthroughs in their lives, the people that are actually getting to where they want to be, they're not afraid to follow the advice that other people give them, And I'm not saying that I am Miss Wisdom, not at all. not at all. You take it or you leave it. I don't care. But, it doesn't even matter if you take advice from me, but take it when you're watching videos where you're actually seeking advice. And as you clicked on this video, I'm sure you'll have some sort of intention on feeling better. Then it's really about, not just watching and then not taking action, because nothing is going to change in your life from watching somebody talk about something. I'm sorry to, rain on your parade, but that's how it is. Anyway, rant over. As you can hear, I'm very honest and very clear in this video today, because I had a whole day of just, meeting myself deeply, because after yesterday, and after journaling the last couple of days intensely, today was a day where everything broke out of me. So I cried and I had a lot of realizations. I did some breath work. I did some Kundalini yoga. I was actually listening to a conversation, like an interview of somebody that, I find interesting. And I feel like the internet gives you sometimes the things that you need to see. So I clicked on a video and I watched it, and it was actually quite fitting to the emotions that were bubbling up from deep within me. And that kind of triggered something in me. And I started journaling out and feeling into it and breathing into it. And then I had a huge release and a lot of realizations. And that helped me so much to not run away from my feelings or numbing myself. No, in those situations when you feel like you're in a funk and you're trying to distract yourself or numb yourself from it, it's only going to prolong it, because what you're trying to numb and distract yourself from is still underneath. It's not going away by doing the numbing and the distracting. At some point you will have to deal with it. And if not, it's going to accumulate. And you're going to wonder, why are all these bad things are constantly happening to me? Because you're not listening. Because you're not listening to the universe. You're not listening to the signs. Because when we're being confronted in the world with people and situations, pay attention. Pay attention. What is the world showing you right now? What is the world wanting you to heal or understand about yourself? Yeah, and it's always something positive. It's always going to help you. So don't run away from yourself. Don't run away from it, from observing what's going on. Because I could have prolonged this for the next 2 weeks and would have felt shitty and would have felt, anxious or depressed or whatever. But in those situations, I face it head on. And I take the time for it to brew and to come out whenever it needs to. But I also don't run away. So I didn't go and eat 10 cookies to make myself feel better. No, I took action in support of me getting in touch with my emotions. So what I did today was I meditated in the morning, I journaled, I had a healthy breakfast, I made myself a matcha. I took the day very slowly because I already felt like, I think today is the day, when the emotions when something is gonna come out. And then I was reading a little bit, and then I had this huge release. And after the release, I was like, okay, now I need to nurture myself. It's also an important point. You need to nurture yourself after you have a big release. Just like after a big therapy session or, coaching session or whatever healing session, nurture. And nurture doesn't always mean, eating 10 cookies or watching 5 hours of Netflix or drinking a glass of wine. Again, no judgment, and there's nothing wrong with that. But ask yourself, does this really make me feel good? is this really in support of my highest good? So for me, I did today things that really supported me. In the past, I would always, my family associated food with love. So I would always, like after a somatic therapy session, I would get an ice cream to reward myself for, for the session or whatever. But now, and it doesn't need to be your opinion, it's just my opinion, it doesn't do anything for me, because I noticed that sugar in my system makes me feel anxious and not good. And again, that's no judgment. Everybody needs to know I'm very sensitive. So I noticed over time, like, I cannot eat so much sugar anymore because it's not good for me. That, though, is, we can override this when we feel like we have these cravings and we need to attach to something. And again, this could be alcohol, this could be sex, this could be shopping, this could be anything that is giving you a perceived instant gratification, but that doesn't make you feel good in the long run about yourself. I noticed also the last 3 days I was like really scrolling on online shopping, which I never do. I buy clothing like once a year. I really don't mind. Like I buy quality clothing and then it just stays. So I'm really trying to get out of this, wheel of, oh my God, constant consumption, But I noticed for myself the last 3 days that I was not consuming, I didn't buy anything. Well done, Vanessa. But I was just, scrolling through online shops, and I noticed in myself how I would get anxious. And I was like, oh, you're doing this. Okay, let's stop. Yeah. So what I want to say to you is it's okay to basically eat your cookie or have that wine or, like buy those shoes or whatever. But just notice how it makes you feel. Does it actually make you happy? Does it fulfill you? Does it make you happy in the heart? And does it make you actually feel better, like truly? Or is it like a band-aid? Because then, sometimes we're lying to ourselves and we're like, now I feel better. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with band-aiding yourself. But if you just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing the actual thing that wants to come up away, like at some point, your life is going to show it. And you're surprised why you don't feel good, you're anxious and depressed all the time, you don't have a partner, you don't have friends, you don't have anything, because you're not feeling your feelings. And when you feel your feelings through, when you're in a funk, you actually, like, on the other side of feeling that emotion, there's a realization. Yeah, and for me, life was showing me the last week or the last few days, like a lot of things that I kept on observing, and I was like, this is really interesting. I don't know how all the puzzle pieces yet fit together, but let me just journal it out, what I'm noticing, and then today everything to me made sense. So don't get discouraged. I would really recommend you, like, meet your emotions head on. Sit yourself down, allow yourself to feel, and if nothing comes, that's okay. Just say, hey, I'm open for whenever you want to come up. I know this is hard, maybe this is an old feeling, but just know I'm here to listen when you are ready. Yeah, because maybe a part of you is like being triggered by whatever life situation. Often we are also being triggered when we're ready to integrate something, when we're ready to let go of a pain, of a shame, of like an old way of being, or like a old pain that we've been holding on to. And maybe it hasn't come up for years or for months, but suddenly it comes up because you're ready to face it and integrate it and not be at the mercy of it anymore. Not let this hold you back from stepping into, maybe an opportunity, a relationship, a new way of being, more expanded consciousness. And for me, I know exactly what it's connected to. So, I needed to really go through these old emotions. And after I had this big release, I asked myself, what do you need now to nourish you? Like, what would truly nourish you? And as a child, what always nourished me was a warm bath. So I just took a warm bath. And I was like a little child, I was so excited. I put on some music, I put on a candle, and I was just relaxing in the warm bath. And afterwards, I took a nap and I felt amazing. Then I went to Kundalini yoga. Then I went to buy some ingredients for a delicious meal. And that's it. So my advice for you is, and now I'm feeling so much better, just to add that. And there's still stuff dropping in. Sometimes when you had a big release, it can also feel like you have, like you're having a little bit like a cold or something, because your body is integrating the changed emotional energy, the changed state that you've created, the release. Then sometimes afterwards it can feel a bit like you're coming down on something, but then just be gentle with yourself for the next day or two, and it will all integrate. So I can just tell you that the more you allow yourself to get in touch with your feelings, even though it doesn't want to come up the first day or two or whatever, just reassure your body. You can even talk to your body, and I know that sounds abstract or a little weird, but we're doing lots of weird stuff here. And maybe you tried normal, and maybe normal hasn't worked so well. That's what happened for me. So I go weird, and it really works for me. So I speak to my body sometimes and say what I just told you, I know something is going on, and I know something will come up to process. I just want you to know I am okay. Even though it feels uncomfortable, I'm here to listen, or I'm ready to process, or whatever you want to say to your body. But start building a relationship with your emotions and start observing, I feel like not in balance right now. I feel like something is coming up. And for me, how I see it in my mind's eye is often like a roller coaster. Like, I'm about to go into that roller coaster journey. And just know that life, we're not trying to arrive somewhere where we never change again, where everything is, colorful and harmonious. Yes, harmony is important, but harmony exists at different degrees. So there will still be conversations we have. There will still be challenges we have. But the difference is when you start going inwards and you are starting to heal your wounds and becoming clear about who you are and who you want to be, your mission, and your joys and excitement in life. That's all part of life, but we're humans. We need growth. We cannot hold on to sameness always, because it's unnatural for us. And whoever told you that you need to hold on to the sameness has no idea about life, because this is not what it's about. We're about to grow and evolve again and again and again. So the more comfortable you become with change and getting in touch with your emotions, the easier life gets for you. And the way to do it is really starting to observe and get in touch with your physical sensations, with your emotional state, and don't fear it. It's okay to be afraid, obviously. It's totally okay to be afraid. But with time, you will also learn, as you're learning your own little practices of what helps you, you will also learn that you're capable of going through a roller coaster ride. You're capable of having emotions come up or brewing within you. Because when you observe it, you just know, this is just something that needs to process through. And then I come out the other side with more wisdom, with more resilience, with deeper love, with deeper openness, because I managed to go through that. Or you managed, like I as in you, we, everyone can go through it. So find your own little tools. You can try the ones that I shared with you. You can make your own, find your own tools that work for you. Journal out what would help me, feel really nourished in situations like that. And really, not just to numb or distract myself. And as you can see, I need to go to bed. Leave a comment below. Share how you feel when you're going through a rut. Maybe you're going through some emotions right now. Share that too, because whenever we share, we're also supporting and inspiring others. Little disclaimer, I know I haven't been so good at answering comments yet. I read all your comments and I send you love every time. I've just been going through my own stuff. And thank you for your patience, and thank you for commenting anyway. I really appreciate you. And I think, I love this community that we're building together, and I just want people to feel less alone with their emotions and with the different human experiences you go through. And that's why I'm sharing what works for me, what works for my client from a personal, but also from a professional view. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, subscribe. What are you waiting for, my love? And comment below if you're going right now through a difficult moment. If you have any questions, put it all in the comments below and we can discuss. From tomorrow, I will answer your comments again. Thank you for your patience, and I see you in the next video. Mwah. Ciao.